Bum, 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 ba-da-da-bum, bum, bum. Here's Johnny. Thank you, Ed. Hey, everybody, social media family. Being up any subscribers and or as well any visitors to that then of my own YouTube social media channel and our chat room or comment section. How are you all doing? Well, hopefully everyone is doing at least okay, if not better yet, to be said, to be feeling all right, or if not best of all, to be said, to be feeling blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, or too blessed to possibly become or be stressed. You and yours, your family, friends, and hopefully me and mine likewise, as well, all the same. And hold that thought. Could you please not do that, dickhead, prick, whoever you are? You know, I'm making reference to this one piece of crap, to put it mildly. But then I want to really use the SH-T word, but I'm trying not to, regardless of my most recent conflict of interest experience, being of which is the content for the present social media broadcast or video. Anyway, though, as a backtrack here, we read no further to begin, so I can go on to following to continue from where I'm wearing that my person at last left off, so I can finish up as a complete form of previous prior line of thought. And in the same, no, in a similar word, same. Oh, please do excuse, pardon, and forgive me for butchering the English language, and hopefully not likewise from becoming subject to experiencing a case or situation mispronunciation in addition to for the last minute, and in addition to that some such a having a stuttering episode, or not to mention improper uses of the English grammar of American dialect. So far as speech impediment at the present moment time, and hopefully not likewise a memory loss. But anyway, I was making reference to the dickhead or prick that keeps popping up on my social media channel, and shortly after, pops on here for a few seconds and then just as quick pops out. Don't do that. I wish I knew who the crap head was that done that. He does this all the time, unless it's a she, the opposite sex, or one is just one possibly more than quite a few that does that of characters, and could possibly be the likes of some of such of my former or previous neighbors from damn hell, or ignorant and insane ass characters, not to mention impolite one, or stupid, sick, sadistic, and rude SOB bastards, more than bitches or hoes, to be compared on to my present proverbial neighbors from damn hell, characters who are more creepier or more creepy than my last ones, and therefore that would make them worser. And for that being of an atmosphere within a worse neighborhood, whereas I'm having to move here upon short notice after my last neighbor from damn hell character had flipped the script on me and had got me receiving the walking papers that he should have received much rather instead of me, after he convinced the management to do just that, to deliver. After they confused me with him, after I went through all the proper policies and procedures of standard protocol to bring it back to them about my last neighbor from damn hell's daily and or nightly violations of his apartment rental lease, and at the same time, or all the while, he would disregard and or disrespect my own rights and privileges as his fellow neighbor of another resident or tenant. After I had brought it to the attentions of the real estate administrator representative personnel, And likewise, after I had equally as well, put in a number of police reports against him, you know, and he flipped the script on me. And now I'm here where I'm at presently, as I have had to move into this worse neighborhood, on short notice, just to keep from becoming of the homeless statistics or the homeless racial statistical percentiles or percentages of the daily transfers. Yeah. But anyway, though, whereas I don't appreciate the complicate matter of the compounded problem, whereas there are certain internet trolls, and they could possibly be my last and present neighbor from damn hell, and it could be moonlighting likewise, or as well, like, some of such crank callers or last but not least, or worst of all, stalkers, and some of them could possibly be my last and present neighbor from damn hell. But this one internet troll, he gets on here and he pops in for although it could be a she all the same, it or he, not that a human isn't it like an animal, but you get what I'm saying. You get the general idea what I'm trying to say, that is. And do excuse, pardon, or forgive me for butchering the English language of the American dialect. I never did promise you all that I would speak quite eloquently, though my American English is fairly well, even if I do say so myself. But then I never had claimed to have become or be an English major, neither nor how much less an English professor. But anyway, though, let me just wrap this up. So far, the basic intro, before I get into the real topic of discussion being the original one for the content of this present social media broadcast, for that being on my own YouTube channel. And so this one dickhead or prick will pop in here, unless it's a she, unless he's a she, for a couple few minutes, then pop out. I just wish one would show up in my comment section so I could, go about taking care of the necessary business at hand. Though I wouldn't know whether or not that would be one, but once one opens one's mouth, then you could tell if one's an internet troll, and hopefully, I could from there block that same dickhead or prick that keeps popping on my channel for literally actually a couple few seconds, then pop out just as quick, like one is spying on me. And as this person of character could possibly be one of my last or present neighbors from damn hell, the worst of the likes of their kind. Sorry about that. That's my alarm clock. Now 5 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, though, I was saying was if one were to show up in my comment section, then I could, from silencing one's chat, if one, show one's true colors, the zebra showing its stripes, to blocking one, and possibly permanently, because I don't appreciate the disrespect being shown to my social media channel. Somebody popping on here within relatively a couple few seconds, and then pops out just as quick. That is total disrespect for anybody's social media channel. Some more, some less. Disrespect for some more and some less. And moving right along. And let me just cut to chase. I want to try to get back to sleep before I would have tried to go to church for today, regardless of whatever health issues, because I found myself having postponed church attendance lately, most recently, possibly for consecutive Sundays in a row, at least for the last couple of few Sundays, to see about some such health issues. But anyway, though, so I'm awoke. I'm awakened. I'm woke up. I can't get my words. rather lay down. Well, now it's break down. I'm awakened out of my sleep by, one of the neighbor from damn hell's either relative or homie or one, and this is like 2 something, 3 something in the morning, and I have, you know, sleeping health issues as well as I have health issues otherwise, well, a few other ones. So I'm awakened at some like 2 something, 3 something in the morning, and I'm pissed from there. And it is quite difficult for me to get to sleep regardless, uh, or in due regard to not even so equal well, especially when it comes to likes of neighbors from damn hell. Like I said before, stay for record, so I do so again in speaking. Whereas the ones I have now are worse being because they're creepier ones. They're more creepy and for a worse neighborhood. And whereas I had explained to you all why I had to move here just to keep from becoming homeless. Otherwise, I would have never moved into this here neighborhood. Whereas the former previous one, it was like say, how should I put it? It was multiracial at that, not to mention less poverty stricken or less crime ridden, okay? And here it is, I'm in one of the worst neighborhoods after having been in one of the better ones. Yeah, thanks to my last neighbor from down here, whereas here I am now in a neighborhood that is, of a predominantly ethnic minority one, and likewise that is more poverty stricken and or more crime ridden. So I'm like woken up at something like 2 something or 3 something in the morning, by whoever this guy or fella or dude is, whereas I'm looking through my peephole and he's like knocking on my next door neighbor's door, be that male person of a character, coming off like a midnight cowboy, although these neighbors from down here are more creepy. But sometimes they come off like midnight cowboys, not as much as my last neighbor from down here. Because it's like I said, they're more creepy. This male person of a character is knocking on my neighbor's door at some like 2 something or 3 something in the morning. Here it is 5 o'clock now, or break it down a little after 5. I'm like, what in the world? Are you freaking kidding me? And as I said before, stated for the record, it's like, in other words, hard for me to go to sleep. And once I'm woke up out of my sleep, it's equally as well hard for me to go back to sleep, And I'm pissed. I'm like, son of a, son of a, well, rephrase that. I'm like, son of a gun, you son of a piece of crap, you son of a skis or skank, broad or dame, whatever. You son of a, well, anyway, though, I think you all get the general idea of what I'm trying to say, And I was pretty much so sleeping pretty good, though I that much more now have to sleep with, either a baseball bat up on my bed or something similar to it, not to mention keep an active cell phone, keep it active as an activated, just in case of an emergency situation. I do have a case of situation as it is with me living in a worse neighborhood that I do have more well, like say how you say, where it's my attentions would have to be hypersensitive, or I would have to be alert. Well, not so alert, more not so much as hypersensitive, where it's I could be confused with a drug addict, God forbid. But then I am in recovery for alcohol consumption and for consuming my drug of choice being reefer. So this character is knocking on my neighbor's apartment door at 2 something, 3 something in the morning. I'm like, oh wow, you have got to be freaking kidding me, I'm like, oh, you son of a. So I'm woke up out of my sleep. I am pissed like I don't know what, But at the same time, I got to recognize and realize I can't yell from the inside of my apartment because I don't know what this male character of a person may be like, Okay, and I most certainly, definitely cannot mention how I would like to get back with the management of the building come the next business day, and if anything, I could possibly report the incident, anonymously, because quite naturally, it would go without saying as well to go double, triple to be said. I mean, it's no brainer. I'm not about to, give any info as to identify myself as the one who is placing the complaint, or stated grievance, with all things considered, with me being a resident tenant now within one of the worst neighborhoods for a vicinity area within city limits, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not naturally a trick, but when push comes to shove, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Take care of necessary business in hand, for not only, your personal safety, but for your peace of mind, because I don't appreciate being woke up out of my sleep at 2 something, 3 something in the morning, although it's been quite a while since the last time this happened, and being because these present neighbors from down here are more creepy, and so that would make them worse. But then sometimes they moonlight as midnight cowboys, maybe not as much as my last neighbor from down here, because like I said, they're more creepy, they're creepier, therefore they're worse. So I woke up out of my sleep at 2 something, 3 something in the morning. I'm like, this don't make any sense, and I got to go to church, for this Easter Sunday. I'm going to try to make it out there, wherever, regardless of whether or not I have found a church home for myself. And hopefully they're more real or true brothers and sisters in Christ, And I'm sorry for the cussing and swearing, or for me using cuss words, or for employing the usages of speech, profanity, however said, I'm sorry for pretty much so practically and not possibly cussing and swearing like a drunken sailor at the moment, but put yourselves in my shoes. I mean, somebody knocking on a neighbor's door at 2 something, 3 something in the morning. I mean, wouldn't that piss you off as well if that person coming off like a character knocking on your neighbor's door is waking you up out of your sleep, I mean, I was sleeping pretty much so sound as a baby, like, what? And like I said, it's difficult or hard for me to go to sleep to begin with, regardless of how or in due regard, I have said, for how I take sleeping meds, and regardless or in due regard to my present neighbors from down here, being as they are worse neighbors from down here, being because they're more creepy, And I'm like, of all the, I couldn't believe it, so to speak. But then I can believe it. I'm like, I'm like, that is just so much total disregard or disrespect for, other neighbors, like, right? But they just don't care, the street characters, the street animals, I mean, this male person with character is knocking on my neighbor's door, and like I said, I don't know, or be one related or relative or just a homie, knocking on the door at 2 something, 3 something in the morning, not considering the fact that there are other neighbors in the building, Okay, so these are the characters I have to deal with, street animals, street characters, or street animals, that much more. And but although my present neighbors from down here are more creepier, but then sometimes be moonlighting as midnight cowboy. I'm like, not as much as they be creeping though. They creep that much more for the creepier neighbors as they are, worse ones being because they're creepier than my last neighbors from down here, who likes their kind. So I'm like, oh man, the devil is a liar and the truth is not in him. And I was sleeping pretty much so good, Be I had taken some such sleeping meds or not, or whatever I would have to do to make sure I get at least half a decent, nice rest, I'm saying, in addition to taking possibly some such sleeping meds, Like whereas I would alternate or consider alternative options of taking some such over-the-counter drugs to help me go to sleep, or use some such home remedies, So he woke me up out of my sleep. I'm peeping through the peephole. I'm like, what the? And I don't want to say something while I'm in the atmosphere of my own apartment at this narrow personal character, because then that could possibly become or be more than likely, more often than not, with little or no doubt or none whatsoever, not at least a major conflict of interest, But then you can hear something like, hey dude, guy, fella, this has got nothing to do with you. I'm knocking on this here door over here. So what my business got to do with you? Go on back to sleep, dude. The life you saved may be your own. You know what I'm saying? Read between the lines, fill in the blanks. You're going back to sleep, dude, before you really go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Read between the lines, fill in the blanks. Once again, I say, you're going back to sleep, dude. Just mind your business and stay out of mind. Blah, 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 day. I'm like, what the? Oh, man. But then when push comes to shove, like I said, I sleep with a baseball bat or something similar to it up on my bed, like I did for my last split residence, so I have to do so that much more for here. And how much more I have to keep it active as an activated cell phone, Whereas now all I have is like a cell phone compared to where I was at last. I had both home phone as well as the cell phone, active home phone as well as active cell phone. Now I just got an active cell phone, and being because of the discrepancy between me and the phone company where I was for that's because of the discrepancy between me and the phone company that I had done business with before, is what I mean to say. Whereas you know they want to stick me with some certain money that I don't owe them. I'm like, I ain't paying that. So until I can get a new home for, I'm like, I ain't paying that. Where they come off with just as big as rip off as my bell, like some or such alternative, the ComEd would come off, or People's Gas would come off as big a rip off as those other two business corporations or conglomerates, being of which would, perform that a service on to its many different patronizing customers. And speaking upon those matters. So I'm like, I ain't paying that. Then I'm just gonna have to chance it with just having just a cell phone at the moment, until I would have find me one of my Bell's business competitors to, have established a home phone setup, for where I'm at now. Or why I'm just really having a cell phone. I have a backup cell phone. So that's kind of like, taking the place of a home phone. I have a backup cell phone, especially where I'm at now. Anyway, though, getting back to something such as the last mention, compliments what I was saying about the worst of neighbors where I'm at now. So this dude is knocking on my neighbor's door right across from me. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Woke me up out of my sleep. I'm like, damn, what's all that heavy knocking, I'm like, what the boom, 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 boom. Like, is somebody breaking in? I'm like looking up in my bed, ready to grab a baseball bat or something similar to what I have up on my bed, just in case. Cause I'm thinking somebody could possibly be, not just practically, but could possibly attempt to break in on me, as in come off like a home invader or intruder, but then only find out that it's somebody at my neighbor's door, across from me. I'm like, what? So I'm peeping through my peephole and I can see this dude, a guy, a fella. I'm like, man, and I can't say anything, for obvious reason or purposes, as I had put it much earlier, being of which would prove, not just could prove, but would prove not just could possibly, but would probably more like more often not become or be a no brainer as, and I should not say anything, regardless of how pissed I am at this here rude awakening or this person of a character waking me up by my sleep. And like I said, it's hard for me to go to sleep enough as it is, and just as hard for me to go back to sleep. So I'm like, oh man, son of a. So this is what I'm having to deal with, at the moment, and compared to what a conflict of interest of another candidate I had become subject to experiencing, you know, um, some days ago earlier, a couple few days, well, day or so, or whatever I said, just the other day, whereas, I was at a public branch library. I was trying to do a broadcast, and then some kind of computer hacker, had sabotaged, you know, that bin of that particular social media broadcast at that given moment in time after I had went through all the preliminaries of typing up the basic intro as an introduction as well as the footnotes for some and such. And then once I was about to broadcast, I couldn't do so, and then there was the problem of how all of a sudden the algorithms, or how to say it, like the panel I had witnessed and noticed that some given Montana was enlarged and was having to go through all the proper policies and procedures to minimize it, to its normal or average size, before I couldn't even broadcast to begin with. Altogether, I couldn't broadcast, and I had to close out as I was in the public library. I'm like, this was for my other PC as a personal computer, So, anyway, though, this is the content so far the original topic of discussion for this present social media broadcast and video. How this one street character had woke me out of my sleep that's supposed to be either a male relative or male homie of next door neighbor, and whereas, that just pissed me out. I mean, that's pissed me off. See, I can't get my words together thinking about that. I mean, it pissed me off to have to become subject to experiencing this nonsense, as this character was coming off like, bam rebels, I mean, you know, like coming off like that turn out to become a case of situation of a disturbance of my peace, my peace of mind. Well, hopefully not equally well a threat to my person, because I do have a itchy 911 emergency dialing finger, for to alert the local boys in blue if push come to shove, That's what you got to do for your own personal safety, Then I'm about to wrap this up, and as you all know, usually I give that other basic intro, then I speak upon the subject matter, a couple few, or that all depends, or maybe four or more, like say on how I'm feeling, I could at least speak upon one, and then, I'm saying, and with the many different views and opinions to be possibly affiliated, representing some such. And then last but not least, I would give the closing. Yeah, I would say exactly a paraphrase, in saying, or by stating a line of thought being something like this here. If you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I would hope that you would think to do so now, while the blood is still running warm in your veins, by recognizing and realizing what he himself had done or did upon the cross of Calvary. On the hill of Golgotha, suffering at the hands of some Roman soldiers upon the orders of their superiors, religious, political, militaristic, and etc., whatever it may be. But then, nevertheless, was he had permitted himself to be crucified at the cross of Calvary between two thieves who were more worthy of crucifixion than him. And to fulfill biblical prophecy, as he had to suffer at the hands of Roman soldiers to reestablish that divine relationship between mankind or humankind and God that was lost due to the fact, that's how we believers look at it, a fact, how Adam and Eve had disobeyed God and had become subject to experiencing the ramifications for having done so. But then, whereas the second Adam, being Christ, had come into the world in human flesh as he was God, to permit himself to be crucified so that anybody and everybody that would profess faith in him, whatever races and whatever walks of life, faction of society, lifestyle preferences, been the old, young, like both two sexual genders, the males and females, represent not only the human species, but the global community within this post-911 era of a new millennium apocalyptic day and age, and where the doomsday clock is now at a few minutes to midnight, compared on to how former pre-project was at a quarter midnight for the biblically prophetic times, who could profess faith in them, will from there become and be blessed in one regard or another, in more ways than one. First and foremost, with his salvation, which is the only means by which any of us can or could possibly become citizens of the kingdom of heaven. And then second of all, with his deliverance. But first, you have got to get his salvation. Otherwise, you have nothing coming so far as blessing is concerned. And if you leave this world without that fire insurance of his, I don't care what Oprah Winfrey has said, or the late Reverend Billy Graham for that matter, was he started out okay, but then in his later years, he adopted the Oprah Winfrey one-liner where she was saying that all roads lead to heaven. No, it doesn't. All roads may lead to that whore that rides the beast on the 7 hills for that the papacy or Vatican City, Rome, Italy, from whatever country or nation, but all roads do not lead to heaven, And whereas if you don't have that fire insurance of our Lord and Savior Christ, the Messiah delivered, once you were to make that transition for the hereafter, the afterlife, then your final destination will be the lake of fire down hell, to be assembled with the rest of the unsaved, lost down human souls, the bastards and bitches, let me rephrase that. Sorry about that. Lost down human souls, the unbelievers and unbelievers, to be tortured and terrorized by the devil and the demons forever, compared to how we as believers in God, as Christians, aka Protestants, will be across that great divide that separates heaven from hell, in the company of like-minded believers and in the presence of God and his angels otherwise. But first, you have got to get his salvation while you're still here upon the planet Earth in this world. Then to wait till you're on your last leg of this journey of life, and then possibly breathe your last with still not having done so, to become human shish kebab, to be fried, dyed, and laid to the side, and then the process done all over again, as the devil and his demons will be biting and clawing on you and sticking you with pitchforks and all that darkness and heat that is more, of so much heat than many atomic bombs or nuclear warheads being blasted all together. You all take care. Be safe. Be blessed, not stressed. And I'll holler at you later. We out. Peace.